Once upon a time in a quiet town in Vermont at the edge of a deep mysterious forest lived a loving couple named William and Sarah. Their small wooden house had a red roof and gentle smoke rising from the chimney. The home was always full of warmth, laughter, and peace. William and Sarah had always dreamed of having a child, and every night they sat by the fireplace hoping their wish would come true. One summer Sarah learned that she was expecting a baby. Soon she began to strongly desire a rare herb called forest lilies. These flowers were known for their sweet scent and gentle healing nature. The lilies only grew in the garden of an old and secretive neighbor named Agatha, who many people believed had unusual knowledge of nature. Sarah thought about the flowers every day and her desire became stronger. One evening Sarah quietly said to William, "William, the first only need a few lilies. Just a small handful." William loved Sarah deeply. Even though he felt nervous about Agatha, he could not bear to see Sarah unhappy. One quiet night under the moon he carefully climbed over the garden wall and picked a few lilies. The first time nothing happened. But when he returned again, Agatha saw him. "You have taken something from my garden," she said in a cold voice. "The child your wife is carrying will belong to me." William and Sarah begged her with all their hearts, but Agatha did not change her mind. When the baby girl was born, Agatha took the child. She named the little girl Mary and raised her in a tall hidden tower deep in the Vermont forest. The tower had no door and only one window high above the ground. Agatha visited by climbing Mary's long golden hair. As the years passed, Mary grew into a kind, curious young girl full of wonder. She spent her days reading old books, talking to birds, and watching the stars at night. She dreamed of seeing the world beyond the forest. She imagined rivers, mountains, and wide oceans she had only read about. One day a young traveler named John was walking through the forest. He had once heard stories about a hidden tower, but he never believed them. Then he heard a beautiful voice singing through the trees. The sound was soft and magical. He followed the voice until he found a tall, lonely tower. "Who is up there?" he called gently. Mary was surprised and slowly looked out from the window. "Who are you?" she asked. "My name is John," he answered kindly. "I heard your song and wanted to meet you. I will not harm you." From that day forward, John returned often. They talked every day and shared stories, dreams, and laughter. Mary told John about her life in the tower and her wish to see the world. John promised that one day he would help her leave the tower and discover the world outside the forest. Soon Agatha discovered their friendship. She became very angry. In her anger, she cut Mary's long golden hair and locked her away in a dark room at the top of the tower. When John tried to reach Mary, he slipped while climbing and fell into the forest. He was hurt and wandered through the woods for a long time while still hoping he would see Mary again. Mary stayed strong and never lost hope. She listened to the wind, sang to the birds, and slowly learned how to care for herself. She found water from a nearby spring and gathered berries and herbs from the forest. As the years passed, she became brave, wise, and strong. One day John heard a voice that sounded familiar. "Mary," he called. He followed the sound and finally found her. Mary ran toward him and they embraced with great joy. Her tears of happiness helped bring comfort and strength back to John. Together they left the tower behind and began a new life in a bright valley near Lake Champlain. There were no walls and no locks, only freedom, hope, and love. They explored mountains, walked beside rivers, and watched the stars together each night. Mary and John finally lived the life they had always dreamed of. They were brave, free, and full of hope. From that day forward, they were never trapped again. Their lives were guided by love, courage, and the endless possibilities of the world around them.